Hello, I'm William Cook, and this is discussion board presentation for week 7. And this week we're covering grant proposals, and I'm going to be proposing my grant, or my grant proposal is going to be based around Peter Muhlenberg, the pastor turned soldier. I did a little bit of coverage on him earlier this year, or this semester. He was the pastor that served in the 8th Virginia Regiment. He was famously known for giving a sermon and quoting Ecclesiastes chapter 3, to everything in which there is a season, a time of war and a time of peace. And then he famously removed his pastor robe to unveil him in his Continental Army uniform and saying, "And this is a time of war," and joined the Virginia 8th Regiment, or the 8th Virginia Regiment. And 300 people in his community, 300 men, signed up with him to directly serve under him. He then went on to serve directly with George Washington. He had a correspondence with George Washington, was highly regarded, and was eventually the vice president for Benjamin Franklin. Now I looked at two potential places to seek funding. The first one was the Daughters of the American Revolution. Peter Muhlenberg was directly involved in the American Revolution. He was pivotal. He was like I stated earlier, he was highly regarded by George Washington. He has a lot of coverage in his role as a general in the Army. And however, the Daughters of the American Revolution, from my understanding, is mostly on preservation of artifacts and historical locations and documents, which has been very well preserved at this time with Peter Muhlenberg. So there really wasn't any footing to seek the Daughters of the American Revolution. I landed on the Virginia grants because they offer fellowship grants. Now, the fellowship grants is designed to help writers, community scholars, and university teachers that are furthering their research. And this is where I think that my grant proposal will be beneficial, because like I said earlier, there's extensive work covering his military and political career, to include the most recent work in 2020. Now, prior to that, a lot of his resources have been pulled from his son's biography about his father and letters that he had correspondence with George Washington to cover his military career. What is less covered is his career as a pastor. Now, he was born in Pennsylvania, and his family had a lot of German ties. And while growing up, his father, who was a German Lutheran pastor, so he grew up with a German background, a German heritage, and he actually served with the Germans, the German Dragoons, with the British Army, the 60th Regiment of Foot, where he actually got the nickname Teufel Pete, which means Devil Pete, which I found interesting. Usually, I'm a Marine, called Devil Dog. I don't like it, but that's what the Germans tend to give out to everybody. And then he went on to visit England and became ordained when he returned to Philadelphia. He was ordained in the Lutheran Church, and he moved to Dunmore County, Virginia, where he held his church services. And there's a lot of, I think there's a very great sense of community with Peter Muhlenberg, considering the 300 men signed up on the spot just to serve under him. So I would like to propose an in-depth analysis and study of his pastoral records, his sermons. I would certainly need funding to research this, to gather the sources. Also, we have an understanding of German, so there's because a lot of his sermons were given in German. And I think that there is a great amount of history with his pastoral and his relationship with the community involved in his pastoralship. So that is my grant proposal. I would be seeking funding for historical analysis of Peter Muhlenberg and his pastoral career. Thank you.